2019 has been a very, very exciting and interesting year for me as an artist. Like, looking back, I would have not imagined anything that happened would have happened. So that was definitely a surprise, thanks universe. And yeah, I exhibited 8 times. I was painting in another country and did all kinds of things. I made this video that shows basically the summary of last year, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope somebody is going to be inspired by it and can learn something from it. And yes, enjoy! Basically, it all started with Hypecon in February, where I became part of very, very spontaneously. So I had 6 full days where I could create my concept of my artwork as well as for my shoe customs. So every day I was creating like 12-15 hours. Even if I was tired, I was painting and creating, which basically tells the story of my life of 2019. I painted my own version of Astroworld and added figures like Murakami, Kaz, Ovo, and Son Goku to it. Here's my painting in its new home, and my collector and me. In March, I had the privilege to paint a custom Goku for the jeans store, the Budims, which are some of the sweetest, most kind, and most genuine people I know. They're so sweet. For a commission, I flew to Mallorca and stayed there for 2 weeks to create it. And here's the background story.
Dieses Poster mega geil und ich wollte dieses Bild schon immer selber mal malen. Und ich habe einfach gemerkt, nach so ein paar Versuchen, dass ich es nicht hinkriege. Also habe ich einfach neulich vor einer Woche oder so eine Stellenausschreibung, kann man sagen, oder Projektausschreibung gemacht und habe halt gesagt, passt mal auf Leute, wer von euch kann gut Bilder malen, ich suche genau das und das und das. Kam halt natürlich ganz viele Kommentare, viele Leute haben andere Leute verlinkt und eine ist halt sofort herausgestochen aus diesem Ganzen. Und das möchte ich kurz mal vorlesen, und zwar ist das hier Sabrina, schöne Grüße. Und zwar hat sie geschrieben, Kolja kann alle beschriebenen Punkte erfüllen und hätte auf jeden Fall Interesse daran. Ich garantiere dir, dass das Bild genauso aussehen wird, wie du es dir vorstellst. Das ist eben der Unterschied, diese Selbstsicherheit, so dieser Instinkt zu sagen, ich will das unbedingt und ich garantiere dir, dass ich genau weiß, was du willst und es zu machen und so. Und das ist eben genau das, was den Unterschied ausmacht, dass manche Leute halt einfach sagen, ja, es wäre ganz schön, es wäre ganz toll, ich könnte es vielleicht machen. Dann gibt es halt eine Person, die einfach sagt, ich weiß genau, was du willst, ich finde es raus, wann können wir telefonieren und so weiter und so weiter.
Im Kunstladen, Kunst mit Kopf, und Sabrina malt das Bild fertig für mein Büro. Das wird richtig gut aussehen, weiß ich jetzt schon.
Bringt mir es etwas, wenn ich mir für 2.000 € ein Bild malen lasse? Ja, es bringt mir extrem viel. Es bringt mir auch extrem viel mehr, als ich für diese 2.000 € investiert habe. Aber jedes Mal, wenn ich hier sitze und da hinten das Bild sehe, habe ich einfach ein unglaubliches Gefühl bei der Arbeit. Ja? Und stellt euch mal vor, was ist es euch wert, jeden Tag bei der Arbeit richtig motiviert zu sein und einfach zu wissen, geil, ich erreiche meine Ziele mit dem, was ich mir sozusagen hier erarbeitet habe. Ja? Ist es irgendwie etwas, was nur 2.000 € wert ist, oder ist es nicht vielleicht etwas, was sogar viel mehr wert ist? Kann jeder für sich selbst beantworten.
This was one of my favorite experiences, and the value he sees and the words he said mean the world to me. It's now July and we're starting at a private event during the Berlin Fashion Week where I was invited to show my artwork. So I packed all my tools and everything I needed, and I was lucky enough to find people who actually drove from Vienna to Berlin in a van, and they helped me out a lot. Arrived in Berlin, I had a few hours to set up my art room. And since I wasn't allowed to hang my paintings directly on the wall, I had to build my own walls where I could hang them. After setting up, the event started. Going home, I booked my own train compartment at the night jet, which was also a whole experience itself. End of July, I had my first exhibition in an art gallery, it was the Galerie Steiner, and later in the year, in December, we also worked together for the Miami Art Week, which was super, super exciting. And yeah, I'll get to that when we get to December. The day after, I had my birthday exhibition in Club number 99, which was more unconventional, inspired by pop art and entertainment. Just a week later, the next sneaker convention took place in Vienna. It was the Solemart, and again, I was packing all my artwork, building my walls, and exhibiting my work. In October, there was the last sneaker convention. It was another Hypecon, and again in the Museumsquartier. My entertainment art collection was also showcased in 3 stores in Vienna. The 23 7 store, Deux, and the Budims. After all the action in Vienna, it was time to fly to California to get re-inspired and re-energized. I visited a lot of museums, galleries, and other exhibitions, and what inspires me is the unconventional. And of course, no trip to California would be complete if I wouldn't visit every sneaker store I know. So fam, here are the places you should visit. No worries. Now we're getting to one of my favorite exhibitions, Complexcon, and my trip to San Diego.
You see my lifestyle change. Now I'm high on purpose. Yeah, I'm fly on first class. The last shall be first, yeah, I outlast. Last laughing to the bank with the bag. I remember back then, way back. They was looking at me like I never be nothing, but I already knew. Now I'm pulling up in something cool, popping out so fresh, like looking brand new. This is what it look like. This is what it do. When you're living like the truth, heartfelt like the news, and what I put my mama through. This ain't that new.
You don't know my story.
Nothing.
You don't know how much my mama worries.
Mama, I'm sorry.
Oh, I should tell you by the way, I came for everything.
I'm telling you, for everything.
I will not run away, I will not run away. I'm here to stay.
I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay.
I'm here to stay.
I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay.
I'm here to stay.
Won't run away. No way.
I'm here to stay.
I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay.
After California, I was in Vienna for a week. End of November, near the Christmas time, there is an annual art exhibition, wine tasting, and live music performance at Lawyer's Office Gruber. This time I was invited to exhibit my artwork and I had 6 full rooms that I could fill. Also, they provided a huge buffet, which was so delicious, especially the desserts. And a few days later, it was time for Miami. Every first week of December, there is the Miami Art Week and Art Basel, where over 30 large art conventions take place at the same time. It's basically the time where the whole world gets together. You meet so many interesting personalities, like-minded creatives, you meet old friends, you make new friends and connections every day. And you never ever know what is going to happen that day. Every day is a surprise. You never know who you're going to meet, to which art event or art party you're going to go, which moments and experiences you're going to collect. And it's just an experience unlike any other. And actually, my very first time visiting the whole Miami Art Week was not too long ago either. It was December 2018. And all I knew back then was, as soon as I walked in the very first convention, I don't know how, I don't know when, but at some point I have to exhibit there too. And in 2019, my dreams became reality, and I exhibited at Red Dot Miami in Wynwood with my Viennese gallery, the Galerie Steiner.